Good bass response in the Alien 3
Let's see.
with a mid-high frequency range. Wow.
Okay, we're hot now. What? Let it run.
Just got to tune the system, so you know.
Hit B or C. Let's see. Display biofunctions. That's it. Okay, we're hot now. What?
Wow.
Let it run.
Wow, that pitch when it is slowly rising up to about 18,000 kilohertz.
Okay, we're hot now. What? Let it run a cycle.
I'll need to tune the system just a little extra more.
Display biofunctions. That's it.
Just so that the playback, but
okay, we're hot now. What?
It's given a calm SBL level. It's not.
It's real fun.
It's not too over the top.
Display biofunctions. That's it.
Wow.
What do I do? Hit B or C.
I suppose in a way it's a pure
display biofunctions. That's it.
Analog to digital. Because this would be analog Alien 3, it would be this would be the 6-track version, so this would be magnetic sound, analog, converted over to digital file, and then probably AC3 encoding and blah 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 blah. But it plays very nicely when sometimes using a sine wave sweep on a depending on what it's generated by the computer from a REM, a true RTA, or something other. But it's when the frequency reaches up to probably going up past 10,000 kilohertz, and this is going pretty quick in just a few seconds, you know, from the sweep from the lowest to the highest, and it only takes a few seconds depending on what you set the computer or the program for the duration, for the speed for the sine wave sweep. If you set it very slow, you know, I mean really slow, and you've got other sound noises in the room, that microphone's going to pick up on that, so you've got to do it really quick, or electronically, and then you see a nice response. That's whether it's, you know, going rolling off and then coming up and then going flat and then rolling off, or maybe because it's coming up and then rolling upward. And usually you hear this like kind of squeaky sound. This sounds like tuning on a radio, like a really sort of unstable. It just comes unstable, makes it kind of squeaky. But yeah, listening on the, you know, I know what the sound mix is doing. I've seen it on the Spectrum Lab waterfall years ago that I did, and it goes right up to about 18,000 kilohertz, the highest, you know, so it starts inclining upward, and then it kind of reaches a point and it just levels, and wow, only lasts a couple of seconds in the film. And you know, if you got very, very sort of, I don't know, okay hearing, because I wouldn't say if you had young hearing or whatever, I think that's kind of a bit discriminating in a way, because you could be very young in age, and you could heard something that's very loud, very, very extreme, and it's done some irreversible hearing damage. Or the same with maybe looking at a very bright arc lighting, or looking through a telescope or binoculars at the sun, and just one eye just happened to get exposed just too long to the, you know, and burnt your yeah, burnt your retina. But as this goes, it's okay. It's got a nice bass sound in the beginning. It's got a nice low that starts off in a moment. Nice bass rumble over the screen channels without the sub bass channel turned on. Even though there's a little bit about LFE in the scene.
Need any help?
But most of that bass rumble
I don't mean to scare you.
is just coming over the screen channels.
You're wandering around alone.
Do me a favor.
Most of the time the screen channels are doing a quite sufficient amount of bass, and sometimes the surrounds, it's not just sub bass, sub bass, crying out loud.
What do I do?
BRC. Let's see.
Oh, here goes this.
Display biofunctions. Okay, well,
Wow, it's pitching there on my ears. I could get it a little bit more tuned high, where it would just physically, the pitch would just pinch my ear.
Now what?
Feels like
Let it run a
it
second.
would feel like having just pouring, you get an eardrop and you just put a tiny, you only have to put a teeny amount, a teeny milli whatever, and you would feel this like, oh. That's sort of what it's like. Other frequencies are a little bit lower down, that you audibly hear quite easily suddenly, maybe 8 kilohertz. You just suddenly just turn the volume down, don't you? You just turn the level down on it because it's like, oh, damn, too much. It's very audibly easy to hear that tone. But depends on many sort of things. And do we hear all these high frequencies outside? I mean, I would have to take a little bit something more than a smartphone app RTA outside on the phone. I'd have to have something a little bit more like on a laptop, something a little bit more sophisticated with probably maybe those microphones, Behringer microphones, and it's carrying around a bit of equipment, with batteries and such to power it, just to sort of, or generally I don't have to. I only have to stick a very long pole out the window of the with maybe 2 microphones on it. 1 microphone would be good enough just to pick up, because I don't care to pick up stereo outside. Just 1 microphone just to pick up the frequency response of, traffic, birds, people. If the wind's blowing against it, you get that kind of noise, and then it's just, you get like a load of noise on the microphone recording with the RTA or the Spectrum Lab, even one of those programs I could use, and it will show like something, there's something high frequency out there. Or there's something infrasonic out there, and does it rattle the home theatre around like stupidity? Of course it doesn't. Depends on what it is and where, depends. And obviously, if you hear something infrasonic, it's man-made. Unless it happens to be a volcano that's erupted several 100,000 miles away, and the sonic waves are just travelling through the air.